welcome to Notice Tonight, the show that decodes the region. I am Wasbir Hussain. NRC, or the National Register of Citizens, viewers, is in the news. The exercise is certainly embroiled in a controversy of sorts, with the Assam government and ruling BJP legislators accusing the state coordinator of withholding critical information. The state NRC coordinator, for instance, had told the Supreme Court that 27% re-verification of names in the draft list has already been conducted as part of the updation exercise. This statement by the coordinator and the Supreme Court came on a day the court was hearing the centre and the Assam government's plea seeking 20% re-verification of names from areas bordering Bangladesh and 10% names from elsewhere in the state. Now the Assam government is asking the state coordinator, if you have done the re-verification, why did you not inform the state government? Now, if the big question is over the credibility of the NRC as posed by the state government and the ruling BJP legislators, the issue needs a thorough deliberation. Besides, we have other documents that need scrutiny, the most important being the voters list. Then if the main point is about stopping infiltration in Bangladesh, one can ask, why is the border not sealed even now? Then the role of the border police also comes into question. Last but not the least is, what are you going to do with those people whose names do not figure in the final NRC? Answers are difficult to come by, but the search for answers must go on. We'll try to get some answers, but before that, what is hogging the limelight at this stage, viewers, is the sudden decision by the Assam government once again to send batches of people for re-verification. But what is shocking is that people from Lower Assam are being sent to re-verification centers hundreds of kilometers away in Upper Assam. There was a bus accident in Khanapara where 2 people died and several were injured. Now what is going on? These are some of the answers that we'd like to seek. I am now joined in the show by Assam BJP spokesman Mr. Rupam Goswami, Congress leader Dujen Sharma, Dr. Rajiv Handik from Guwahati University, commentator Abhinav Barbara, senior advocate Kamal Nayan Chaudhary, and Dr. Prasenjit Biswas, professor at the Northeastern Hill University, joining me from Shillong. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Let me go straight to you, Mr. Kamal Nayan Chaudhary, senior advocate. Mr. Kamal Nayan Chaudhary, what is going on? You see, now we are in a peculiar situation. We are at the fag end of the exercise of NRC updation that began way back in 2015. Now we are almost at the end of this exercise. Now, suddenly, we find the state government raising some critical questions. They are accusing the state coordinator of withholding information. Now, the state coordinator had told the Supreme Court that re-verification is not necessary because we have already done 27% re-verification, whereas the state wanted only 20%. Now, when in the midst of this, you suddenly find in the last 2 to 3 days, the state NRC authorities sending batches of people, any amount of people, to Upper Assam from Lower Assam for re-verification. Now the question is, if you have done 27% re-verification, what is the need for re-verification now when you have just 3 weeks left for the publication of the... What is going on? This has led to definite amount of confusion among the people. What is your take, Mr. Kamal Nayan Chaudhary?
Wasbir, well, I would like to put it like this. If you ask me for my personal views, I don't believe in this NRC business. Because NRC, according to me, is not going to solve the Assam's problem. Rather than solving the problem, it will give legitimacy to some illegal migrants, which I'm sure. Therefore, I never supported NRC. And in fact, that's why we filed the case in the Supreme Court, where we have taken a stand that unless 1951 is made the cutoff year, the state will not, the problem of infiltration and its effect on the local population will never be solved. Now, coming to the latest move undertaken by state coordinator or by the NRC authority regarding this re-verification process, to be fair to everybody, you must have seen the data. the rate of exclusion in the border districts are lower than the Upper Assam or Karbi Anglong, where there are hardly any foreigners or any immigrant population.
Okay.
Therefore, under the circumstances, there are reasons to suspect that everything may not have gone well in those areas. The reason is very simple. Everybody involved in the process are migrants. Therefore, you can't rule out the possibility of everybody helping each other.
Okay.
Therefore,
okay, I'll come
in
back.
the circumstances,
Yeah. I'll come back to you, Mr. Kamalnan Chaudhary. You have made a couple of important points. Before I come to my guests in the studio to have their opening remarks, Dr. Prasenjit Biswas, what is your take? You have been watching the developments in the last couple of days.
Right. I am really appalled by the situation that thousands of people are called by overnight notices to 300 to 500 kilometer distant places. This is not the part of SOP, because SOP clearly stated that re-verification or any verification should not take people to faraway places. They should not be traveling to long distance places. It's very clearly written in the SOP. Why this is violated? Then Supreme Court clearly rejected the appeal for re-verification by the state and the central government. Then why is this re-verification notice by not following Supreme Court's diktat here? It's a kind of a contempt of court that has happened if re-verification process has been taken up without taking cognizance of the Supreme Court order.
All right.
So therefore, it has resulted into unlimited harassment.
Okay.
This should not happen.
Okay. We try to have all our guests at a time on the screen. I think that is important. But before that, I come to our political panelist. Avinav, how do you look at it? Prasenjit Biswas has made an important point. When the Supreme Court has rejected the appeal of both the central government and the Assam government for 20% re-verification. They said re-verification is not necessary. Then suddenly you find this re-verification suddenly has started. What do you make of it?
Wasbir, I think I'd have to clearly state that my heart goes out to the Muslim minorities who are being subjected to a strange and perplexing process. If you look at the way this entire process has unfolded, you see the...
Why are you making this distinction,
because
Muslim minorities?
Of course, there is a distinctive religious pattern. We are specifically mentioning bordering districts. So there is bound to be a pattern that is discernible in the entire process. And even with regard to the people in the bordering districts...
But what about people from Haju? There is not a bordering district.
I'm coming to it. Look at the way the process has unfolded regarding re-verification. Firstly, the authorities frame rules, and then all the people participate in that process and qualify as citizens. Yeah. Thereafter, the state starts questioning the implementation of the process, and thereafter the state expects the people to go through and repeat the entire process once again. I think from such an attitude, what you can understand is the deeply prejudiced attitude of the government. Because if you are a Muslim today in Assam and you belong to a bordering district,
that will be contested
you are bound to be a suspect, and you are bound to repeatedly prove that you are a citizen of Assam and India.
You are suspecting the motive of the government, but here we have, it's a peculiar situation, we have the state government which is questioning the state coordinator. So you cannot really blame the state government, isn't it? Can you?
No, but if you look at the kind of notices that you are getting, one of the notices that the people are getting calls into question the legacy data. Now, if you look at legacy data is a continuum of intergenerational relationships as well as cross-family relationships.
We'll go into that. We'll come back to that. See, viewers, those are visuals of that bus accident. You know, these are a bunch of people from Kamrup district. Who were going to Soraideo in Upper Assam near Sibsagar for verification, because they had been given barely 48 hours notice, and they collided with a dumper, and the heavy bitumen fell on the passengers of this bus. Several of them are critical with heavy burn injuries. So this is a really sad state. Rajiv Handik, but that accident aside, what do you make of this whole exercise? The Supreme Court striking down the appeal for re-verification, state government directly pointing out and questioning the state coordinator, accusing him of withholding information, And now suddenly you find a fresh re-verification going on the eve of the completion of the process.
I don't really understand actually why this exercise is being done. But there may be reasons for that, and the reasons are okay. You know, you can verify, re-verify, it's okay. But sending people away to such distances, and that
is the problem.
That is the point. That is the fault they should have done in these days of IT, you know, revolution. In this where we have everything connected in a digital India. I don't think, you know, that was necessary for people to travel such long distances and meet with, you know, very unfortunate accidents.
And even if it was made compulsory, the state should have arranged for the transportation. If I would like to bring in record here that the leader of opposition of the Assam Legislative Assembly had written to Pratik Hajela regarding providing transport by the authorities. But I do not think that even that has been done. And as a result of that, people are forced to sell jewelries, livestock to make...
Let me bring in Mr. Congress leader, Mr. Dijen Sharma. How do you view this? At the end of the day, of course, I must make it very clear, all of us sitting on this panel in the studio and outside, we want a free and fair NRC, which is free from names of illegal Bangladeshis or any other foreigners, and where Indian nationals' names should not be left out.
Yes,
with this background, what do you make of this whole exercise?
I support your view. But why this situation has arisen? You have seen that the recent Assam Assembly, the government of Assam, maybe on 1st of August, they have disclosed some confidential information, confidential data regarding this verification of border district and other districts to in the assembly. Then after that, they started, the government members, particularly members from ruling party, started criticizing Pratik Hajela, the coordinator of the NRC. And after that, from 3rd of August, this issuing notice of 24 hours, 11 a.m.
So what are you trying to say?
No, I am trying to say that government of Assam, the Pratik Hajela has become a subject of blackmailing, and it is the government of Assam who does not want a correct and proper NRC.
Very serious allegation. Yes, I get your point.
They want to foil the... they don't want an NRC.
Let the ruling party, let the BJP spokesman respond.
Yes, they don't want it to be completed.
Okay. Now, some very serious allegations by the Congress leader, Mr. Rupam Goswami. He's saying that government of Assam actually does not want the NRC process to be completed, and that is the reason why this entire confusion is being created. How do you respond? First of all, before responding to what Dijen Sharma has said, but it is a fact that your government has been very, very critical of the state coordinator that was on the floor of the House. If you can explain.
Yes, Mr. Wasbir, first of all, I just want to clarify one thing. What Avinav is repeatedly speaking about the government. Entire this process is going on under the supervision of the Supreme Court, and the NRC coordinator, Pratik Hajela, is alone, without discussing anything with the government. State government as well as
it's a SC monitored process, but it's the government machinery which is using it.
Pratik Hajela is a government officer.
Exactly. And what about the circle officers?
You have the patience to hear me.
Yes, sure.
Of course.
So the thing is that Honorable Chief Minister, he has given a statement, and immediately Supreme Court has said that the government of Assam has no business to interfere in the NRC process. We are looking into it. It is your duty only to give infrastructural support. So, like that, around 55,000 employees have been engaged, around 1,400 crores have been sectioned, everything, and even the law and order, the government of Assam is doing very nicely. But the government of Assam feels that, and it was apprehension of the many people, many organizations, that undeserving persons have been included in the NRC.
Okay.
So that's why the government of Assam
wanted re-verification.
Re-verification of 20% of the border districts and the rest 10% on the rest. And Supreme Court has kept the issue alive. They have not given any order, but kept the issue alive. All of a sudden, Pratik Hajela said that 27% has been re-verified. It is very, very...
So, therefore, there is no need for re-verification. That was the implication.
No. For every step, NRC always give advertisement to the papers, electronic medias for every step. But for this re-verification,
there was nothing like that.
Nothing like that.
So therefore you are questioning. Therefore you are questioning.
This is an incidental re-verification.
Yeah.
We
get the sense. We get the sense. We get the sense. Let me go to
Look, let me finish. But let me finish by saying in one sentence. We are very much serious about the NRC. Our Honorable Chief Minister, after taking the oath, he has given his first step to the NRC office. And even the central government and the state government are very serious about the NRC, and with the NRC, we don't want any politics.
Okay, and with the NRC, the BJP is saying that they don't want any politics. Yes, I'm coming to the panelists in the studio, but Mr. Kamalnan Chaudhary, you know, there's very serious allegations being leveled by the Congress here in this studio, today's discussion you have heard, saying that, you know, why is this disconnect, the perceived disconnect? I don't know whether there is a real disconnect, and nobody is questioning the Supreme Court, because Supreme Court is doing this with the best of intentions, and that is an institution all of us have full faith in. But that aside, why is this perceived disconnect between the people who are carrying out this mega exercise and the state government of Assam? Why is this perceived disconnect, according to you? What's going on?
See, the state government perhaps feels that the exercise needs to be more stringent. The state government has the perception that in the districts bordering Bangladesh, the rate of exclusion being less than those areas mainstream Assam, therefore there are reasons to suspect that the exercise may not have gone down well. Based on that assessment, the state government and the central government has made a prayer before the Supreme Court that at least 20% re-verification should be done. Now we all are saying that we are for a free and error-free NRC.
Right.
If we are all for free and free NRC, what is the problem if a re-verification takes place? It is not a question of harassing anybody. With respect, I don't agree with the co-panelists that they are being subjected to harassment. After all, is there any doubt that in Assam there are millions of immigrants? Is there any doubt? Are any of the panelists are trying to say that there are no immigrants?
No, nobody has said that. Nobody has said that. Nobody has
said that.
No. Please, listen to me.
Basic procedure.
Mr. Wasbir, is it the case of the any panelists that in Assam there is no infiltration and therefore there is an imbalance?
Please continue.
Therefore, when you are trying to prove, and mind you, under the law, it is the burden lies on you to prove that you are a citizen of India. Therefore, you have to undertake this exercise. Let us not show this sympathy in these causes. You know, when it comes to citizenship, it's very sacred. And let me remind all the panelists, now it's a question of conferring citizenship to a section of the people. Therefore, the measure has to be very stringent. According to me, the measures taken are not at all arbitrary, and these are called for in the facts and circumstances of the case.
Mr. Kamalnan Chaudhary, Mr. Chaudhary,
as able to assert ourselves as Assamese.
Yeah, Mr. Chaudhary, the point which some of the panelists are saying that there is no problem with re-verification, but it is the clear case of harassment because you are sending the people from Hajo to Sibsagar district in Soraido and other places. So couldn't you have given the re-verification center somewhere close by? What is the problem?
See, I would not like to give any judgment on this aspect, for that Supreme Court is there. If Supreme Court tomorrow strikes down the action of the NRC authority, that is a different aspect. According to me, because the local people have helped them, that is the reason why they have been sent to a place where there will be an impartial re-verification. That is my understanding of the situation.
That is your understanding.
And under the
Prosenjit, how do you respond?
It can't be construed as unfair or arbitrary.
Prosenjit, yes. How do you respond?
I would like to clarify to everybody. Yes, I would like to clarify to everybody. Supreme Court has in very clear terms said no re-verification is necessary. Yes. No one should distort what Supreme Court had said, and should not put their words in the mouth of Supreme Court. I would remind them that Supreme Court has desisted state and central government from carrying out any re-verification.
No,
so this
no
entire
such order have been
exercise is very,
passed.
very questionable.
They said the issue is live.
Then the second important thing is that a misperception is based on the idea that border districts have many more immigrants than immigrants are available in the central district. Now this kind of a misperception is tom-tommed to carry out a kind of an ethnic racial targeting, which has happened through this massive harassment that has happened deliberately by taking people from one place to 500 kilometers away place. Why can't re-verification happen in the concerned NSK if it is to be done?
Yes,
Assam government can provide staffers and adequate people to adjudicate cases in the NSK itself. Why people are making forced to travel such a distance?
Prasenjit, hold your thoughts, please. The main issue is not some people being shifted from one place to another for re-verification. That is some difficulties they have to go through because of the short notice but that is not the core issue. The core issue is the procedure, whether we are going to get a correct NRC or not. Why is this doubt creeping in at the last moment? That is the bigger worry. Why is this doubt creeping in? Why are people questioning the NRC authorities in an organized and systematic manner only now? Because nobody questioned the NRC authorities in the last 4 years. So why is some people, including the government, why are they questioning the NRC authorities at the very fag end? If there is a disconnect, did the state government not know that there is a disconnect? Did they come to know it only now? That is also a question. I will give a fair chance to Mr. Rupam Goswami to respond. But Abhinav, how do you look at it?
That is what is my point. Why did the government come up with this idea of re-verification at the fag end of the entire process? They did not raise the issue or did not take any concrete steps towards addressing these issues when the process was going on. Now the BJP spokesperson would say that it is a Supreme Court monitored process. Now, in response to him, I would like to say that it's a Supreme Court monitored process. Yes, it is true, but it is the state machinery which is being used, number one. Number two, if you read the standard operating procedure, it clearly mentions that the LRCRs may direct or cause verification of names already in the draft NRC. And at the same time, the DRCRs can authorize any officer to carry out a probe. Furthermore, the state can also direct the border police force to investigate any cases and refer them to the foreigners tribunal.
So these are some of the points that Abhinav is making. I'll have to go for a break. Hold on. Hold on. We'll come back. Very quickly. Rajiv. Yes, definitely. I'll have to go for a break, but very quickly, Rajiv.
All this time.
Rajiv.
Yes. Abhinav has rightly pointed out there were alternatives actually to deal with this issue of re-verification instead of sending people for such long distances.
But that is not the core issue, as I have said.
No,
that is only happened now.
No,
what is the core issue?
The core
issue is why, my question being asked is, why was this re-verification not done earlier?
No, that is the plea they have taken to hamper the procedure.
No, my point
he's
is,
saying that hampered the procedure. I'll go for a break, but before that, very quickly, Rupam Goswami. Very quickly, Rupam Goswami.
Look, we have given the demands for 3 times, not only once.
Okay.
We have given this 3 times, several times. And after the publication of the draft, then only we'll come to know what's happened, because Hazala has given some closed envelope to the Supreme Court. Nobody knows. What is there? What is there that a state government, an elected state government and the central government should not know about it? What's secret on it?
And if it's...
And just a minute, just hold on. So the thing is that you are telling that LR and LRCR, what Supreme Court said about the Hazala, you know. He is the officer of the court. State government only could give the employees and necessary infrastructure. They cannot instruct anything on this NRC. It is a very clear instruction guidelines from the Supreme Court.
Okay, that
No, I am also quoting from the same SOP. I am also quoting from the same SOP. I am also quoting from the same SOP. I would like to be put on record as well.
Yes, the same, and you go to the Supreme Court orders and verdict.
No, of course.
And also
we will not contest and debate the Supreme Court order and verdicts right now. Right. We are not competent to do so at this moment. We'll come back for a clarification on this from Mr. Kamal Nayan Chaudhary. We'll go for a short break. Don't go away. We'll be right back after this short commercial break. Welcome back. You see, viewers, the main issue is the issue of illegal migration in Assam and other parts of the northeastern region. Now, for the last 40 years, we have been grappling with this issue of illegal migration. Mr. Kamal Chaudhary, had there been no illegal migration, perhaps today we'd not have been carrying on with this exercise called the NRC. Now, let's deviate a little bit from the NRC. What about the electoral rolls? Today also, after so many years, we cannot say that we have a correct voters list. Voters list also has names of illegal migrants. Now, the second part is, why is our border not sealed? Why are we not tackling the core issue? Core issue, can we today say, can anybody say that it is not a single fresh influx from across the border? A small wave of floods is enough to break or take away a stretch of the border barbed wire fencing in the Mankachar sector of the India-Bangladesh border. Now, who is going to answer these issues, Kamal Chaudhary? The incorrect voters list even today, border not being sealed. Is it such a difficult job? Can anybody say no fresh influx is going on?
See, as far as the electoral roll is concerned, under the Representation of the People's Act, it is the duty of the Election Commission of India to make intensive and summary revision from time to time. And in the process, they can always find out all of the persons whose name ought not to be entered in the electoral rolls. Therefore, the onus is on the Election Commission of India.
Yes, but Mr. Kamal Chaudhary, let me intervene. Let me intervene.
No, listen.
Let me intervene before you continue.
Yeah.
Yes, like the NRC, it's a Supreme Court monitor process, but the entire machinery belongs to the government of Assam. Similarly, the electoral rolls updation or electoral rolls exercise is also an exercise monitored or directed by the Election Commission. But again, the machinery used is the machinery belonging to the government of Assam. Now, you cannot actually escape responsibility. It's not a question of BJP and Congress or AGP. It's a question of the state government.
In fact, I was trying to hint at that only. See, I tell you one thing. But the audio is not very legible, audible at times. Therefore, I'm finding it difficult to, cope up with what is going on. But even then, let me tell you one thing. One of the panelists have recently, just a few minutes back, have pointed out, referring to that SOP, Standard Operating Procedure, that at least the state could make reference. See, I am at a loss to find out why the present government has not activated its border wing of the police.
Exactly the point.
See, border wing of the police's fundamental duty is to detect, at least make an exercise to find out who all are the persons who are suspected to be foreigners. I know, as a professional man, I have done cases of many IPS officers. Often whenever they come to me, I put a question to them, as a superintendent of police, how many references you have made? You'll be surprised to know the All India service officers, they are very prompt in answering and they have done their duty. And I have my own name. I was at a loss to find a particular ASMES officer was posted in Dhubri. He made only 3 references. How do you protect yourself? These are also part of the whole exercise. Therefore, the state government and the central government definitely has a role to play. It is primarily the duty of the government of India, because of the porous border of the state, which the state is sharing with the neighboring countries, that the border should be sealed.
Yeah. Now,
As a first line of defense,
now, let me
border security force is there.
Absolutely.
As a second line of defense, it is the border wing of the Assam police.
Yes.
The government's representative, Mr. Goswami, is there. Let him answer how many references the Superintendent of Police Dhubri has made in the last 1 year.
He will answer.
So
but let me bring in the Congress here.
And giving lectures will not do.
Hold on your thoughts, Mr. Kamal Nayan Chaudhary. Mr. Kamal Nayan Chaudhary, please hold on. Please hold on. I'll come back to you. Now, Dujan Sharma, your party was in power for 15 years. Now, bulk of the time in this country, it has been the Congress which has been in power. Bulk of the time in the last more than 70 years of independence. Now, my question is, the Congress has always been, they have been living with this allegation that you are using the Bangladeshis or illegal migrants as a serious vote bank. And therefore, you allowed this influx to continue. Now, today that you are not in power, still you are keeping quiet. There is no mention, nobody knows what's going on the border.
We are not keeping quiet now, and we are not keeping quiet even in past also. We have a clear stand.
What is the clear stand?
A clear stand is we don't want any Bangladeshi.
Oh, but that is not enough. That is not enough.
I want a clarification, Wasbir. I want a clarification. What is the position? Torun Gogoi says that every individual up till 2019 election voter list should be included in the NRC. Is it the personal position of Torun Gogoi or is it the official position?
No. Torun Gogoi said in a different context. He said that 1967, it is the 2014 voter list is a continuous process from 1967 voter list. So he said that it has come from 1967 voter list.
But sir, there is a clear break between setting 1971 as the cutoff year and preparing the NRC on the basis of it.
That is in 1970.
So are you trying to say that Torun Gogoi's position is the official position?
You are asking a different question.
No. Are you trying to say that Torun Gogoi's position is the official Congress position?
No. Official Congress position is different. But
so the Congress does not agree with Torun Gogoi's position. That is on record at least.
No, that is on record. I agree with Torun Gogoi also because he said on the
they always speak double standard.
I think it is like your position. It is like your position on CAB, where in the Brahmaputra Valley you have a different position, in the Barak you have a different position.
You cannot stop people in Barak Valley to say something else that they will say something.
But this is a more fundamental issue. 1971 or 2019. Does the Congress have a different position, or is it the same as Torun Gogoi's position?
No. If you don't listen to me, this is very difficult to say. Congress has a clear stand on
Congress always plays a double standard.
Okay, let me bring in Prasenjit
now the debate. I am saying that
during your tenure, let me bring in influx has been happening.
The entire issue could be traced back to the time of
you oppose the Assam agitation.
Exactly. You oppose the Assam agitation.
No, you don't know the past. That is why you are saying all this.
Why will I not know the past?
Let us not go into a tutu-mehmed debate. No. Let us not go into a tutu-mehmed kind of a debate. Let's expand this. Now, Prasenjit Biswas, I raised the issue. I'll come back to you. Prasenjit, the issue is we are discussing or having this debate only because the issue of illegal migration continues to be a live issue in the Northeast, particularly in Assam. It's a live issue. Let's face it. Now, we have on one hand the exercise to have the NRC corrected. A lot of people are asking questions on that. There is a controversy. We have the issue of electoral rolls, which is still not fair. We have the issue of continuing influx along the borders, which is not sealed. So, who is tackling? When is this core issue going to be dealt with successfully?
Yeah, I mean, the core issue has to be dealt from a point of view of a humanitarian consideration as well, which is entirely missing in this entire exercise. People are suspected to be foreigners and they are being put to utter harassment. Now, people who have documents,
but
they are
put in detention
camps.
You cannot generalize.
335 of them have completed 3 years. I'm not generalizing. I'm saying people who have shown these documents and gone on a strike, even in detention camps, are not taken into cognizance. People who are declared ex parte foreigners by Foreigners Tribunal. The procedure has not been at all transparent, and so many people and so many lives have been completely wrecked. Now, NRC exercise should not result into this kind of a harassment. If it is to ascertain correct citizenship, it has to go by the records. Now, without going by records, without giving enough opportunity, many people have been harassed. And they are dubbed as illegal immigrants. Now, this attitude of dubbing people without due diligence is something which is illegal, which is anti-human rights position. Now, most of the people relapse into such a position. That is something very dangerous. People who belong to the civil society and intelligentsia must take a humanitarian position.
Okay. Now, Mr. Kamalnan Chaudhary, I'm coming to you, Rupam Goswami. Kamalnan Chaudhary, you know, you a little while ago, you talked about the role of the border police. Why is the border police not being used? My question is, a couple of weeks ago, the Supreme Court actually criticized, they have slammed the Assam government. They asked, where did these 70,000 people declared illegal migrants disappear? Nobody knows. 70,000 is the figure put out. 70,000 declared illegal migrants have simply vanished into thin air. Now, where are we going to find these people now? Kamalnan Chaudhary, where are these people? Who is going to take accountability for this?
See, we as a citizen, we can only help the administration in finding them out. But the initiative has to be of the government of the day. Now, it is the primary responsibility of the government of the day. I think they can always find out. If they put in an effort, they'll definitely be able to find out. Maybe out of the 70,000, 500 may have slipped into some other part of the world or something like that. But the rest, if they put in an effort, certainly they can be apprehended. Why not? Is it possible? Assam is not a very big state.
Can also go to other places of India.
And the people,
no one can stop them.
See, that's why, see, Wasbir, I'll tell you a very pertinent question, you see.
Yes.
Wasbir, can I come in?
Yes, please come. Yes.
Yeah. See, there is a basic problem. See, in the entire country, the task of identifying a foreigner rests with the executive, okay? Now, it is only in the state of Assam that these tribunals are there. This foreigners tribunals order is not applicable in the rest of the country, okay? Now I tell you one thing. Under the UN conventions, there is a difference between an alien at will and the person who enters another country with legitimate papers. Now, the state of Assam is facing a problem arising out of illegal immigration. These are not people who have come to India from Bangladesh with a valid visa and a passport, and they have overstayed. Therefore, they have incurred the disqualification under Section 14 of the Foreigners Act.
Yeah.
These are the people who have infiltrated into India illegally. Therefore, they are not entitled to any due process of law. And I'm telling you, for the information, when I argued this point in that, in our case, Supreme Court has referred this point to the Constitution bench. In other words, whether a person who has illegally infiltrated, is he entitled to the protection of due process of law? As per the international law.
But the problem is, yes, I get your point. I get your point, Mr. Chaudhary. I get your point.
See, that is the basic problem.
I get your point. I get your point. That's the basic question. But Rupam Goswami, the point which Mr. Kamalnan Chaudhary is raising is very valid. Those people who have entered illegally, they should not get any legal support. That is what they are saying. But issue is, over the years, these people, a large number of these people, through forgery, through a system which is seeped in corruption, they have been able to manage various kind of documents on the basis of which they have managed their PAN cards, they have managed their Aadhaar cards, they have their land documents and so on and so forth. All kinds of things these people have been able to manage. I'm not generalizing. Some, large section. So what is your comment? You know, how can we deal with this kind of a situation where there is any number of people within the system out to help these kind of people, illegal migrants?
Mr. Wasbir, it's very interesting because, you know, even in the NRC, Mr. Potek Hazala said in the Supreme Court that the legacy data has been trading.
Yeah, there's trading in legacy data. Yes.
So, how legacy data is traded? Suppose a people who has his name in the NRC of 1951, again his name in the electoral in 1967, again 71. That means he has 3 legacy data. His own family uses one legacy data and the rest uses the other legacy data.
You just sell it.
Yes, that's the trading.
So
And moreover,
yeah.
what happened in the NRC, in some places, the people who is working himself is a foreigner.
Okay.
So he is helping them.
Yeah,
it just came into light in the case of Monica also.
But is it as simple as this? Dujan Sharma, he's saying that the people who are engaged in the NRC exercise, some of them are foreigners, quote unquote. Is it as simple as that?
Very
then,
interesting.
if that is the case, what was the Assam government doing? That will be the
and who appointed them? A lot of people will ask the Congress tenure. A lot of people will ask. They have been appointed during the Congress tenure.
No, let me talk.
We came in the power only 3 years back.
But that is very critical. We should be able to read out.
3 years back.
Let me give my opinion.
Yes.
You see, if there is a foreigner in the NRC process, it is the government who has to detect.
Exactly.
Now these 3.5 years, whose government is running in state?
And who created the problem? Who created the problem?
No, yes, somebody created problem and you will see it. No, somebody.
Why did you forget that?
No, but
who has given shelter?
I agree. Somebody created the problem. And you are
trying to
looking,
solve it.
you are looking
and we
for 5 years.
We'll solve it.
Mr.
You are looking at that problem for 5 years.
I'm coming to you, Mr. Kamal Nanchori.
You are looking at that.
Let me bring in.
Who stopped you?
I'm bringing the lawyer.
For last 5 years.
We are committed to it.
No, you are committed, but how
Few
many
days back, you are praising
Hazela.
Few days back, you are praising Hazela.
That is
now
the
you are
point.
accusing Hazela.
No, Mr. Goswami.
Because these people have been harassed.
Mr. Goswami, how many
What is your
foreigners
character?
your government
You people are playing only double standard.
5 years.
Mr.
That we
Sharma,
want to know.
People of
Because
Assam
you are
know.
blaming
Even you people have
all the
opposed
time.
the Assam agitation.
All the time you will blame.
Because of the...
Let us
all the time
have a neutral voice.
No, Wasbir Hussain, all the time you will blame Congress.
Obviously.
And 5
You
years
have
they are
ruled most
sitting
of the
in
time.
power. What they have
Most
done?
of the time, you have ruled the Assam.
Rajiv Hendik, you want your Let's listen to Rajiv.
You put a very important point.
Rajiv Hendik.
And that is corruption.
Rajiv Hendik, yes.
And that is corruption.
Yes.
Wasbir is, he stated a very important point, and that is corruption.
Yes.
It is not, who are in the borders? The border security force. Are they, are they appointed by the state government? Who has appointed them? There was a core systemic failure. As a state, I think we have failed in a lot of these aspects. We don't have a proper immigration law. We don't have proper immigration laws to, detect, or even, like the other countries in the West.
India doesn't have an immigration act.
We don't have an immigration act. We need to have that.
Yes.
Okay, now,
and
we 74 years,
we don't
doesn't have an immigration act.
We don't treat a foreigner passing from Pakistan to India in the same way
I have to
from Bangladesh.
Yeah, I have to wrap up this debate. Prasenjit Biswas, now it is not the case of. It is not as simple. You are saying that, some people would like to say that, the NRC exercise itself is, the foreigners who are doing the NRC exercise, they are themselves foreigners. But we cannot generalize it. And it is the responsibility of the authorities. I am sure they have taken, and I am sure it is a Supreme Court monitored exercise. They would have definitely gone into it. They would have definitely checked the antecedents, at least after allegations have come up. And allegations have come up. Not just recently, it has come up in several months ago.
Sure.
Prasenjit.
Right. Yeah. I think these kind of allegations are wild allegations to derail the whole process. The monitoring of the Supreme Court has to be more on the ground, which is not happening. This is wrong to comment like this. I have not commented that you don't know anything. So
You have
don't make
not
such
been to the ground,
comments which
sir,
are
I said like that.
totally unsavory. No, you are not on the ground. You have no understanding of how people are suffering. You are only doing some administrative squabbles. You have not taken into note that 61 people have so far died in detention camp, committed suicide. For you, you don't see this. You are not able to see the suffering that people are undergoing.
Yes.
Many of them are bona fide Indian citizens. Because of technical, procedural difficulties, ordinary people are immensely suffering. Unless you realize this, you are all going to lead Assam to a big chaos.
Okay,
and you are questioning the very NRC
how do you look at it
itself by finding out some ghost in the cupboard?
Yes, yes.
Yes, let me bring in Mr. Kamal Nayan Chaudhary on this.
Skeletons in the cupboard are always there, and that should not derail the process.
Mr. Chaudhary.
Yes, yes.
Now, Mr. Chaudhary, you know, are you a worried man today? Because we only have less than 1 month for the NRC to be declared, NRC to come out. Are you a worried man?
See, yes, I am a worried man because according to, see, I have also done some homework. I have been dealing with this matter since 2012. I have got a lot of data also. I have a feeling a lot of illegal migrants will become citizens by this exercise. Because 71 cannot form the basis. It is neither legally permissible nor it is otherwise permissible. Having said that, I have a suggestion to my dear friend Rupam Goswami, since he is in the panel today. Why doesn't he impress upon his government to direct the superintendent of police of the border in every district to make references to the foreigners tribunal within the existing legal framework? Let that exercise be, started, then you will find everything will be in place. Because the border wing of the Assam police is not playing its role as is expected of them, these people who are living in the border areas and other areas, they are encouraged to infiltration. If the border wing of the Assam police plays a proactive role, I'm sure that will act as an added deterrent. It's a suggestion. I'm sure my friend Goswami will convey it to the government.
All right, I'm sure he will do that. I'll have to wrap up. Your concluding remarks, Abhinav, Barbara.
I have always been saying that deportation is not practically possible and imprisoning the people who are excluded is not ethically possible. The NRC presents us with an opportunity to use it as a database to track new influx, and also we should try to use the NRC to bring a closure to an issue which has been running in the state since the colonial period. This is a historic chance. By politicizing it, we should not be destroying the consensus, and I would request the government, therefore, not to politicize the entire issue.
So don't politicize the issue. That is what Abhinav is saying. Don't politicize the issue. Use the NRC as a document to check fresh influx. Let it be the basic document. Rajiv Hendy.
Yeah, we should all cooperate, be patient, and let this entire NRC process go to a logical conclusion. We all are looking forward to a, as far as possible, error-free NRC database, and I hope this will also, as the government at the center is also saying, this will be again replicated in other parts of India, and I don't know what will happen after that. And there is also the another thing which is coming, and that is the CAB, and which will entirely change the scenario.
CAB.
Till that point of time, let us wait and see.
Wait and watch. Mr. Dhiren Sharma?
The process is in final stage, and at this stage, I believe that this process should not be derailed, and the government should not try to derail this process at the final stage. On 31st of August, we are expecting a error-free NRC, and we hope that will be published, and further infiltration and strengthening of borders should be done immediately so that no further infiltration can happen in Assam. That is my final.
I think it's a very critical point is to stop further infiltration in Assam. That is very, very important. We have heard about the government promising floodlighting on the Indo-Bangladesh border. That has not happened. Even the border fence has not been complete. If it has complete, the riverine stretches of the border is absolutely open for anybody to crisscross. So these are issues, these are practical problems that needs resolution. Your final comments, Rupam Goswami.
We are committed to the people of Assam that no foreigner will be included in the NRC and no Indian should be excluded from the NRC. It is very much committed, and we will fight till the time, and we will definitely assure people of Assam, we will definitely give a free non-foreigner NRC to the people of Assam.
Absolutely, that is a commitment which the BJP is giving, but everybody wants that actually, an NRC free from names of foreigners and and NRC, where genuine Indian citizens are not excluded. Now, your final comments, I want to hear an absolutely, considered opinion from you. Last words, Prasenjit Biswas.
Reduce harassment of the public and also reduce the chances of turning genuine Indian citizens into foreigners. That will be like manufacturing foreigners.
All right. Mr. Kamal Nayan Chaudhary, parting shot.
The Supreme Court should have heard the Constitution bench matter first before deciding on the NRC issue.
Okay, we leave it to the wisdom of the Supreme Court, which is actually coming up with a verdict again tomorrow. They're hearing the case and coming up with something tomorrow. Let's wait and watch. I thank all my panelists for participating in this very engaging discussion on a topic that is at the center of attention in the whole of Assam and outside. On that note, I'd like to thank all my panelists for being on this program. Good night and goodbye.